Okay, that's better. Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to this short lecture. My name is Mr. Fraser, or Mr. Fraser Hainsworth, and I will be giving this lecture today. I will spend maybe 40 or 50 minutes going through some different examples, and then we'll have time for questions at the end. Okay, so this lecture is all about implementing AI or artificial intelligence into the ESL, the English Second Language Classroom, or English as a Second Language. So before I start, who am I? My name is Mr. Fraser Hainsworth, and I have been an English teacher for over 14 years now. I graduated with a degree in teaching English to learners of to speakers of a second language from Paris College of University Education. And since then, I've been teaching all over Asia, both in schools and also more recently online, which is becoming very popular these days, especially for people who live in big cities where commuting is a lot of effort. The online opportunity is definitely becoming more popular. And here are some photos of a few different schools and online classes that I've done over the years. So let's get on. Objectives of this course. So I want to talk about how AI really can enhance your ESL teaching, or your both in the classroom and online. So a lot of teachers are reluctant or almost scared to get involved using AI in their classes, but I think they're really missing out, and it can be used as a great tool alongside other things in your teaching. So I'll go through a few examples today. So we're going to talk also about teaching students how to use AI as part of language acquisition, as part of learning a language, and how to use it responsibly, because it is possible to abuse it and use it in a way that's kind of like cheating and isn't beneficial. So it's important to educate your students on the right way to use AI so that it's beneficial to their learning and not doing the work for them. So we'll also talk about teachers, how they can use AI for lesson planning, and how you can help develop really creative lessons with the help of AI. And we'll go through an example during the class as well. Okay, so AI is a powerful tool to engage students and personalize learning. It can be used for pronunciation, vocabulary, conversation practice, and assessments. And you can encourage active participation through interactive AI-based activities. So although you are teaching a language, you're teaching English or another foreign language, it's still important to give your students a basic understanding of AI and how it works, and use it as a tool to help them learn both in class and show them how they can use it in their own study time as well to improve their language proficiency. So I'm going to go through some examples. I think it's better than me just talking. I can show you some practical examples of how I have used AI in the classroom, what I think works really well. But here are some options. Chatbots. So having your students communicate with an AI, that's often a good way to have students speak clearly, as if you pronounce something wrong, the AI will not understand what you're saying. So this is a really good way to practice and show that you can speak clearly. So if an AI can understand your speaking, it means another human can understand you too. You can also use it to speed up the process of developing materials for your lessons, such as quizzes and flashcards. For example, instead of individually writing 100 different vocabulary words on a certain topic, you can just have the AI generate those 100 words and sentence examples with each word in seconds or minutes. And then there are certain things we can do with gamification. All right, so enough talking. Let me show you some examples. So this is one activity that I think is really great for helping students develop describing skills in English, or having them practice using adjectives in a kind of fun way, with a fun activity. So you can describe an object or a character using adjectives and have your student trying to be as descriptive as they can, so that they can then generate an image with an AI image generator using their description. So this really develops the students' visual skills and their ability to be able to describe what they're seeing with their eyes in the English language. So I'm going to show you an example of that now. So here's a fun activity I do with some of my younger students, and all kids love Pokemon, so we use Pokemon. And what they have to do is, well, we do it over a full project, but one of the activities is the students need to choose a Pokemon that they like and then try to describe it and generate it with AI, but without using the Pokemon's name or the word Pokemon. So they have to be really clever with their descriptions. And let me show you an example here. Okay, so this student wanted to create the Pokemon Blastoise. So what they did is they used vocabulary and adjectives to describe its appearance without using its name. For example, it's a tortoise, but with 2 arms and 2 legs and 2 short but sharp ears. It has 2 water guns on its back. So in this case, the student realized later that instead of using the word water guns, they could have used water cannons, which would be a closer description, as when they used the term water guns, the picture the AI generated was more gun-like than cannon-like. So this is a really great way to get students practicing using descriptive language in a fun way. So we can maybe do an example. For example, Pikachu. One of the students has to come up with an idea to describe Pikachu and generate it with AI. So we're going to go to ChatGPT, which is one of the most common AIs. Let me just mute someone, one moment.
Okay, I can't. Please mute yourself. I'm sorry, Fraser, to interrupt.
Yep, it's okay.
Someone is there who has unmuted.
Yep,
Please
that's fine.
mute
It's okay now.
Every time I need to repeat the same thing. I don't understand why. You have to be careful while attending the live classes. When I already mentioned that you need to keep yourself mute, why do you get yourself unmute so that the flow gets disrupted? Please don't do that. Unmute is not allowed when the session is going on. Mute everyone. I'm sorry, Fraser, please carry on.
That's fine, no problem. Okay, so there are many applications you can use nowadays to generate text or images with AI, and many of them are now free, such as Grok 2 from Elon Musk's company, ChatGPT from OpenAI, Gemini from Google, or Copilot from Microsoft. They all have a free version you can sign up to use for free online. So let's try and generate Pikachu. So the challenge is the student can't say something like generate an image of Pikachu. Instead, they have to describe what Pikachu looks like. So they could say something like an image of a yellow mouse a yellow electric mouse, pocket monster character with a lightning-shaped tail and red circles on its face, on its cheeks. Okay, and you could go even further and try to be even more detailed, explaining how many arms and legs, fingers it's got, so you can practice body part vocabulary as well. And the student is able to try and generate it. Okay. So one thing is this AI is very strict, and Pikachu is owned by the Pokemon company. So it's copyrighted, but let's use an AI that's less strict, which is Google Gemini. So that was a bad example to start. So here's the same one on Google. So Google is now generating the image based on my text description with AI. Generate an image of a yellow electric mouse pocket monster character. And here it is. And then the students can see if it looks similar to Pikachu, they did a good job. And they used lots of useful adjectives. And if there was something wrong, they can then prompt the AI again to make changes. For example, make the ears more pointy. So they can practice really developing their adjective skills with this activity. You can do this in class with all your students. If they've all got access to iPads, or even on their phone, they can do it, or on computers. Or you can set it as a homework to do at home and to email you their results. So this is part one of the activity that we do, but we actually expand this activity so that after the students get good at using adjectives to create images, we do a little challenge where they have to create their own Pokemon card. So in this case, the student has generated the Pokemon character, their own idea of a character with AI, and then also the background. They have to come up with their own idea. For example, this student said, I wanted a bunch of pigs eating hamburgers and French fries, playing computer games in a field with a castle. And that's what the AI generated. So this was a 6 to 8 week project, and we focused on different aspects each time. And it's a real great way for students to get engaged, understand what AI is and how it works, while using it as a useful tool to develop their skills in describing things in English. Okay, so that's one example. Let's go back to here. So another great thing you can do with AI is prompt generating. So AI also works as a chatbot. Okay, we got some more muters. Please mute your microphone if possible. Thank you very much. So another exercise you can do with students to get them kind of reverse engineering language is, it's easier for me to show you an example. For example, when you work with ChatGPT, normally you ask them a question and you get an answer. For example, what color is a pig? Okay, any kind of answer, and it will give you a long answer. But what you can do is, as a challenge to your students, is you can give them the answer that you want, and the students have to come up with the question to get that output. So one example is you give the students a challenge to generate the word milk without using the word itself. So students have to come up with ideas such as what white liquid comes from a cow? Okay. And this is a challenge for younger students, and they got it right. But then they can go even further and understand that if you have to be very specific with AI. If you don't tell it exactly what kind of answer you want, you won't get it. So in this case, we got a whole paragraph explaining it, but we just wanted the word milk. So the students can then learn to adapt the prompt and say, what white liquid comes from a cow? Please answer using only one word. And in this case, they get the answer, that student would be the winner. And you can have a little competition to see who can do it the fastest. So this is one example. You come up with all sorts of different questions, like my students in Taiwan, we use the place Taipei, and they have to try and explain how to find that. So they ended up coming with, what is the capital city of Taiwan, or where is the most populated city in Taiwan, or something like that. So this is a real good exercise for students to use AI actively while developing their English skills and doing a fun little activity in the classroom. Okay. I'm going to show you a third activity I do, and then we're going to get into some more examples about how you can teach your kids to use AI effectively. So another great project I've done with a group of students is book development. So students have to develop and plan their own book with AI, and then write it and generate all the pictures to make a book. So here's an example of one. This is a student called Paul, and he made a book called Daddy Cat is Missing. So what they had to do is, first we would have a brainstorming page where they have to think of the characters they want. They have to describe what they want to happen in the beginning, the middle, and the end of the... Sana, could you mute your mic, please? They have to think what they're going to be doing in the beginning, middle, and end of their story. They have to come up with a problem and a solution to that problem that's going to be done in the story, but they don't have to write the whole story themselves. They develop it with AI. So once they've got their plan together, we can show the students how to enter their plan into AI and have AI generate all the pages of the book. And then once you do that, you have the students read each page together and think of what picture they think would be suitable for that page in the book. For example, here, when Paul was 10 years old, his daddy cat started a fish company. The business was super successful and they sold the freshest fish in town. Paul and his family lived a happy life, enjoying their new success. So the student's job now is to come up with a prompt to generate an image. And the student here came up with, I want lots of cats working in a fish factory. And AI generated this image, which was perfect for the book. And so on, his story goes on about detective cats, and it has a clear beginning, middle, and end. And after we've made the books as a group of 5 or 10 students, the fun thing that we can do next is have all the students swap and read each other's books. And then you can quiz each student on their friend's book. And that you can also have them write a review for their book. So in this case, Ellie read his book and wrote him a review, which went on the back of Paul's book. So this is a really great exercise you can do. And it's not something you would do in one class. It's something you would probably set as a class project over 5, 6, 8 weeks, where you break it down into little small parts. Day 1 would be teaching the students how a book works and how it has a beginning, middle, and end, how a book has a problem and a solution. And then the next day would maybe be designing their main character. So Paul had to come up with, I want a cat character, but it stands up like a person. It has brown fur, yellow eyes. So they have to be descriptive and come up with their idea for a character as well. So you can expand this into quite a big project. And it allows students to develop their English skills while also learning and getting involved in AI. Okay, so those are a few examples. There are plenty of more. I'm sure some of you in the class are starting to think of other ideas you could do. So basically you have, with AI, you can generate any text you want and you can generate any image you want. use that and start to think, what kind of activities could I create for my students using those two skills? And the great thing about AI is even students from lower income families that maybe only have a mobile phone, a cheap $10, $20 mobile phone, can even be used for this kind of stuff, as long as you can access the internet. Okay. So that was the live demonstration of a few examples of a few different ways you can use AI in your classes to develop skills with your students. So what I want to talk about next is how to use AI responsibly and how to teach your students how to use it effectively. Because what you don't want is to set a writing essay and for the students to just go to AI and say, please write my whole essay about pineapples or whatever the topic was. You want them to instead use the AI as a tool to help them. For example, they could write part of their essay out, then they could type it in AI and say, ask the AI, instead of rewrite it for me, please give me some suggestions on how I could improve my writing and the reasons why. So the AI is not only fixing your mistakes for you, it's telling you why this is a mistake and how you can improve it. So here is what you should use AI for. You can ask grammar questions. You can ask AI to correct your sentence and explain what the mistake is and why the mistake is there. You can use AI to explain more words. You can ask AI to translate words to your local language, or you can ask AI to define what a word means and give me 5 different sentences with examples for that word. So there's so much you can use, and you want to be teaching your children to use AI in this way and not this way. Please write my entire essay for me. So one of the problems as teachers we have now is that everybody has access to AI, and there is no way of knowing if a student wrote their own essay or they used AI. Now, as a teacher, if you know your student and you read it and you think, wow, this is way too advanced, this can't be them, you can sometimes work it out. But sometimes AI is getting really good now that it might even write at the level of your student and you won't be able to know. So I think in the future, as teachers, we need to start doing more in-classroom writing exercises where students are observed without using their phones, writing essays, fictional stories, diary entries. One exercise we do in my school is for 30 minutes at the end of each day, students sit quietly and write a diary entry. This is a really good way for students to practice writing in the past tense and using adjectives to describe what they've done throughout the day at school. And we correct those books and we send them back to the students every week. And then what we can see is, as we go through their diary, is week after week, the mistakes that you're correcting are happening less and less often. And you can really see students develop very quickly with this. Now, with young students, you can sometimes trust parents that they will make sure their kids are writing it themselves. Because even if they're writing it with a pen or paper, they could generate it on a computer first and then rewrite it down. So writing it on paper isn't a solution. The only really solution is to have trust and a relationship with your parents so that you know that they will ensure students are not using AI for these kind of activities. And also making sure you have writing time in school while students are sat quietly writing in a quiet environment, because the world is so hectic now. Phones are everywhere, screens are all over the place. It's really hard for a student to find a quiet time where they can just sit down and write. So I think it's important for teachers to implement this in the classroom. So here's just a few of my thoughts regarding that, and how you can use your student, have your student use AI to benefit them as a tool alongside their teacher, instead of using it to do work for them. So here are the summary of what I explained. In-class writing practice ensures authentic work. Parental monitoring for homework. Have your parents sign off their kids' work. AI content detection tools, there are some, but as this is developing so fast, these tools are not very reliable, and they often fail. They'll often say this is written by AI when it isn't, or this is not written by AI when it is. So you can't rely on these tools. You just have to have a good relationship with your student and their parents, and time in the class for writing exercises, so that you know that not everything is done by AI. Okay, so this is the world that we're all entering now. It's fast, it's developing quickly. So I think it's really important to get students involved in AI from an early age. So AI is really reshaping education. As I mentioned, especially higher education, universities, you can no longer submit, have an essay be part of your degree. Like, it doesn't work anymore, because there's no way of knowing if you wrote it yourself or not. So a lot of degrees are now adapting, and they're doing more project-based assessments, presentation-based assessments, and practical, for teachers, for example, more practical in-classroom assessments, instead of just submitting a paper on language acquisition. It's a waste of time these days. So students must learn how to use AI effectively, and early exposure while they're young is important. 10, 20 years from now, we don't know where the world's going, but we do know it's heading in the direction of AI. So it's very important that students have an understanding, an idea of all the different AI tools: image generation, text generation, photo ID, on all the different types of AI, such as what's happening in biology with AI now discovering new genes and working out how different genes fold, and really accelerating things. It's important, even at a young age, that kids have a basic understanding of this, and it's a benefit because the tools are useful and fun, and it gets the kids really engaged in learning. So before I move on, I just want to give a quick example of how your students can use AI to to practice their language. So I'm going to use ChatGPT now on my phone, and I'm going to pretend to be learning Thai language as a foreigner. And I will show you how, as I live in Thailand, I will show you how the application can be used to do that. So, hello, AI, can you hear me? This is a problem when you do a live demonstration. It doesn't always work. Let me try it. Testing, hello. Okay, let me restart it. Hello, I want you to help me as a language partner. Are you ready? Of course, I'd be happy to help. What would you like to start with? Okay, I want you to be a language partner to help me learn Thai language. I want you to speak to me in Thai language, and when I make a mistake, please correct me and give me advice on how I can improve. I want you to try and make it a natural conversation, and if I ask you to translate anything during our conversation, you should do that too. Are you ready? Sure, I'm ready. Let's start practicing. What would you like to talk about first? How do I say I want to eat rice in Thai language?
You can say ฉันอยากกินข้าวฉันอยากกินข้าว If you're speaking informally, you can use ผม for I if you're male, or ฉัน if you're female. Give it a try.
Okay. ผมอยากกินข้าว Was that correct? How was my pronunciation?
That was great. Your pronunciation is quite good. Just remember to keep the tones clear. Well done.
Okay, thanks. Now, can you be my English teacher? Assume that I am a non-native speaker of English and I want to develop my English skills. I'll ask you lots of questions and I want you to also be conversational and think of questions to ask me. I want you to start the conversation. Are you ready?
Absolutely. It's enjoy doing in your free time.
In my free time, I like play the football.
In English, you'd say, I like to play football, or I enjoy playing football.
Oh,
That's
okay,
great.
okay.
Now,
I like to play football. I play 3 days in every week.
That's good. You can say, I play 3 days a week, or I play football 3 times a week. Do
Okay,
you play with
I
a team?
play football 3 times a week. Is that better, teacher?
Yes, that's perfect. Well done. Do you have a favorite position you like to play?
I like to be the kicker and kick the ball.
That's great. Usually we'd say, I like to be the striker, or I like to kick the ball. Do you enjoy
Okay.
scoring goals?
Yes, I enjoy scoring goals. I don't know many words about sports. Can you teach me the words in English for 10 other sports and also translate it into Chinese for me, please?
Sure. Here are 10 sports. 1. Basketball. 篮球. 2. Baseball. 棒球. 3. Swimming.
Okay, that's fine. I got it. Okay. Can you teach me an interesting phrase in English that I can use with my friends?
Sure. Here's one. Break a leg. It's a way to wish someone good luck, especially before a performance or game. You can use it when encouraging your friends.
So if my friend is going to take a test, can I tell him to break a leg?
Yes, absolutely. You can definitely say break a leg to wish them good luck on a test. It's a fun and encouraging phrase.
Okay. Thanks for your help today.
You're very welcome. If you have any more questions or need help, just let me know.
Okay,
Have a great
goodbye.
day.
All right, so that was just a quick example, but as you can see, AI is probably more advanced than a lot of people realized. And this is free. This is a ChatGPT app available for the phone, and kids can use this, or adults, learnings of language, and not just for English. As you mentioned, I use this when I'm practicing my Thai language, as I live here in Thailand. But other students use it to practice their English as well. You can also paste in your writing work and ask it to make corrections. And you can get text responses, or you can get voice responses like this and use it as a free language partner instead of paying for a teacher online. Now, that might worry some of you as teachers. Oh no, is AI going to take all our jobs? I don't think so. Although it is a useful tool, it isn't as good as a human. And even as it develops and gets even better and closer to human, people and students will always want that human connection, I believe, when learning. And I believe when AI becomes much more advanced, that all teachers, all students are using it, having a real human teacher will be a premium service. It will be something that that students really want to have. So I think we've still got at least another 10 or 20 years before robots take our jobs completely. But I'll take questions a little bit later. I just want to give one more example. I may extend this lecture a little bit longer if that's okay with everyone. So Another useful tool of AI is to use it in your lesson planning. So I'm not saying you should make AI do your whole plan for you. You should use it as a tool to collaborate and discuss ideas to develop your own lesson plan. So I'm going to show you a quick example of this and how you can use AI to help develop your lesson plan. So we're going to use ChatGPT again, but you can use any of the AIs I mentioned before. So we're going to use voice to text because I don't like typing and it's just easier to speak what I want to be written. So, hi, tomorrow morning I have a 1-hour class with a student called Judy. She's from China and she speaks English as a second language. She really struggles with basic English grammar and doesn't understand the correct way to use prepositions in English. Could you please help develop a 1-hour lesson that helps teach the student how to use prepositions correctly? And could you also add in some fun activities and games during the lesson and make sure the student is having lots of speaking time and chance to practice in the lesson? Please give me a basic outline of the class and then I will tell you if I want to make any changes. Okay, so the AI is writing my lesson plan now. Now, I would not take the first thing the AI says. I would read through it, add your own input and ideas and suggestions, and ask the AI to add their suggestions too, and keep going until you develop a full lesson plan that you're happy with. So this is asking for me to use where is the object, use real objects, a book, a pen, a cup, prepositions of place, under, in, on. Okay, a speaking activity, describe the picture. So then you can give changes and suggestions. So for example, I like the lesson, but it seems a little bit boring. The young child is very energetic. Is there some activities that could involve movement and running to get their brains working faster and to make them more interested in learning about the subjects? Please suggest 1 or 2 different activities I could add into my lesson plan. Okay. So now the AI is suggesting 2 different potential activities I could use in my class. Here's one: preposition obstacle courses. Preposition treasure hunt, that sounds fun. And then you can go further and say something like, I really like the preposition treasure hunt. Could you explain it to me in more detail and give me a step-by-step guide on how to implement this into my class effectively? Okay, so you can go forward. The thing with AI, you don't want to just say, write me a lesson plan on animals. What you want to do is make it a conversation between you and the AI. The AI gives you suggestions. You say, I like this, I don't like this, I want this, but can you make this longer? You use your teaching experience and skills to further develop your ideas. And then when you're happy with it, you have the AI write your lesson plan. You can print it out, and then you can prepare for your class. Okay, that's great. I understand now. Could you please rewrite this into a full detailed lesson plan that I can print out and use for my class? Thank you. And give me it in PDF form, please. Okay, so as you can see, the AI is now writing a PDF document with all the information I wanted in my class. I can then download it and print it out. So this is just a quick example of using AI as a tool to help you develop your lesson plan. Now, as I mentioned, we don't use it to write lesson plans for you because we're lazy teachers. No, these tools are available. Use them. And the thing with AI is the response you get out of AI is only as good as the prompt you give it. So if you give it a short and undetailed prompt, you get a bad answer. If you engage with the AI over several messages, giving it ideas and changes and suggestions and a detailed explanation of what you want out of the class, and then reading it and asking it to change this, make this more exciting, make this more fun, putting another activity here. This isn't long enough, make this activity 15 minutes, whatever you want. So as a teacher, I think we should all be using AI as part of our lesson planning process. All right, so let's continue. I think that's most of the things I wanted to get through today. So we'll move on to questions now. If anybody has any questions from today's presentation, please raise your hand or type in the chat. Let me check the chat first to see if there's any messages. Maggie says, are we going to get a copy of this recorded class? I think the company is going to record the class and release it. Yeah. Please mention the app. Again, thanks. So the applications used for that I was talking on the phone, that was ChatGPT. You can download that on your phone. The ones that I used on the computer was ChatGPT again, no problem. And also Google Gemini. If you just search for ChatGPT on Google or Google Gemini on Google, you'll find it. The other one that I recommend that's quite good is Copilot. Copilot uses the same software as OpenAI, but it's tweaked for Microsoft. And this one is also free and great. It can make pictures, generate a cat under a waterfall in India. Okay, so it can also do images as well as text with Copilot as well. Copilot's a little bit slower though. It takes about 15-20 seconds. There we go. Beautiful picture of a waterfall in India with a cat. Share the app and link of recording session. Yep, I believe the institution will sort that out for you.
Fraser, I have a question.
Yes.
Does ChatGPT also, or any other AI platform, also take an image as a prompt to do further analysis on it?
Yes, that's a good example. So for example, I could copy this picture that we've generated with one AI and I could paste that into ChatGPT, open a new chat and say, tell me what is in this image. I just paste it in like that. So yes, you can do that.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much.
Great. Any more questions? Please raise your hand. Yes, Triveni, your hand is raised.
As a teacher, if we are teaching this, we are teaching a second language to the Chinese children. We should also learn a Chinese language, or else it's not compulsory. Chinese language is
Okay.
not for us.
I think it's not required. No. So I teach students from China, Korea, Japan, where else? Thailand, Vietnam, mostly Southeast Asia and Asia. And I speak Thai language, but I don't speak Vietnamese and I don't speak Chinese. But when you're teaching English to young students, you're really using the immersion method. So you're using lots of photos, and if the student has a low level of English, you're using lots of images in your lesson, lots of videos and photographs and songs. So you create a kind of immersive situation. And it's also good to have the student, if you have multiple students in class, have a rule where they're not allowed to use English during the class. Now, that's good as a supplement. They may also have a Chinese teacher who teaches English, but then when they want an immersive teacher, I don't recommend using the local language in the class. Even some of my Thai students, even though I speak Thai, I will not use Thai in class because I feel it makes them lazy. If they feel they can just get me to translate everything, they don't have to think as hard. So I think sometimes it's useful not to use the local language when teaching English as a second language. Yep. Any more questions?
Thank you, sir.
I hope, Fraser, it's all over from your end.
Yep. I'll just give one last chance. If anybody wants to ask a question, I'm happy to hang on for a few more minutes and answer any of your questions about this topic, or something slightly related is fine too.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
I'm a kindergarten teacher, so how can I use this AI in kindergarten?
Yeah, so that's good. So even at kindergarten level, you can use the picture generation in class. You can have students come up with ideas. Big pink cat, and you type that in AI and you generate a big pink cat, and then they can say cat bigger, and you tell the AI make the cat bigger, and it makes it bigger. So you could do an image generation activity even with kindergarten kids. Obviously designing books and more complicated things is better for primary or high school level, but there are still some activities you can do with young kids as well. You can even with the speaking version, you can have them ask basic questions. They can come up with to the AI. You can say to the AI, please pretend to be a boy named John. He's 5 years old and he likes football. And in his free time, he likes traveling and he wants to be a teacher when he grows up. And then you can have the students come up and then ask, hello, what's your name? And they can practice pronunciation, because if they don't pronounce it correctly, the AI might not understand. So even at a basic level, you can use, especially if you are a non-native speaker and you want, it's like having a second teacher in the class as a support on your phone. So I think it's useful. Yeah, good question. Anybody else?
Thank you so much.
Okay, please raise your hand if you have a question. If not, I think we can wrap things up there.
Thank you, Sushmita ma'am, for the session.
Thank you, Fraser. Thanks
Yeah.
goes to Fraser, not me. Anyway, thank you. I hope there is no more question left. You have explained quite well, Fraser. So I hope it's been quite useful for all those who have participated today, and they can implement this in the classroom. Okay, so we can wind up now, and we'll meet again soon with a new topic.
Okay.
Good night, ma'am.
Thank
night.
you so
Alright.
much, sir.
Take care.
Thank you
Good
so
night.
much.
Good night, Fraser.
Okay, good night. Thank you very much, everybody.
Good night,
Have a nice
sir.
day.
Good night.
Good night, sir.
Have a nice day, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.